Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hi, my name is Monica. I like to post anti-MLMs, that's anti-multi-level marketing, life, and some true crime content here on this channel. So if any of that interests you, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I would love for you to stick around. In today's video, I am bringing you anti-MLM content. So of course, just as a disclaimer, this video is for entertainment purposes only and just my opinions. I am going to be chatting about some reps that may be just a tad bit upset with either myself or just anti-MLM content in general. Some of the things that they said in their post exhibited a little bit of cult-ish behavior, and I wanted to use this as an example to briefly go over why some of these multi-level marketing companies are called commercial cults. I'm going to start off by reading the screenshots and just kind of reacting to them as I go. I do have some notes on it, so just so that I don't forget anything, but let's start off with these screenshots. Does my happiness offend you? No, it does not. I'm all for people being happy, and I do believe that we need more of that in this world. Along with that, especially in the times that we're in right now, because a lot of things are very unknown. Does my impact on thousands of others upset you? Yes and no. The reason why I say yes and no is because if this person was part of an ethical business model, or if they were truly impacting thousands positively, I would have no issue with their impact. This doesn't stop at just the MLM reps though. This goes for every business model. With that said, if this is in response to my video, it was my deep dive into Plannet marketing and Inteletravel. So let's pop up that income disclosure statement real quick. Does this income disclosure statement, which is directly from the company's website, show that this rep is impacting people's lives positively? This is a serious question I have for this rep, because if she ever does come across this video and is willing to have a civil discussion, I would love to talk to her. Not even on camera, but in private, because I genuinely want to see where her thought process is. Is a method of distribution that triggering for you? I mean, I guess kind of. I don't agree with multi-level marketing and never will. I think that it's a horrible method of distribution because most of the income is made from recruiting, not from actually distributing products. I wouldn't say it triggers me though, it just upsets me for the people that I know are losing money. The questions you want to ask when you find out someone's gone to the effort to attack your business and the industry repeatedly. Has clearly scrolled through my team's posts, which is kind of funny because I just felt proud of them. Scrutinized mine publicly and cherry picked the two biggest success posts I've posted probably in the last 18 months, and is building their own business on hatred for the network marketing company. It's so hypocritical, it's hilarious. Okay, let's break this portion down a little bit. Most anti-MLM advocates are not attacking. We are bringing awareness, and we are not attacking you personally, but the industry as a whole, as this MLM rep has already stated. I actually had the screenshots sent to me because I'm not in the group. I don't even know the name of the group. It's just by someone that was in this group. I technically did scrutinize her post because the very definition of the term is to examine or inspect closely and thoroughly. However, there is a reason why I covered her name and face, because it really doesn't matter who the rep is, since we know that these methods or tactics are coming from the MLM company itself or whoever got involved in the MLM, so their upline, etc. This rep can be proud of her success all she wants, but that success is built off of people making little to no money, some even losing money at the bottom. Case in point, if we look at the income disclosure statement again, 97.51% of people make an average of $140.57 in an entire year. That's just their income though. That doesn't include anything else. If we want to factor in just the $19.95 monthly website fee, because this is one known expense that is made to the public, the people making that average income now make an average of negative $98.83. Let's not forget that this is a travel MLM. In my video deep diving into this MLM, I shared statistics on the amount of travel people are really doing during the pandemic. This is just to give you a general idea. This is just what I got off of the TSA.gov website. I'll leave it linked below as well. If we want to look at March of this year as opposed to March of last year, but even if you want to compare March to previous months, there is a big drop in how many people were traveling. This is all based on travel numbers of TSA checkpoints. So keep that in mind while looking at this. But if we look at the last couple of days, there is a significant difference between last year and this year. And I do understand that there are other ways of traveling. There are other ways of booking trips. You can easily drive to a location, or you can take a train somewhere, but a lot of people do not want to travel in a time like this because we are going through a pandemic. So in my opinion, I don't think that this is the perfect time to join a travel MLM. I'm not sure what she meant by building their own business on hatred for the network marketing community, because what business am I really building here on my channel? I do YouTube as a hobby, and while it's great to get compensated for my work with ad revenue, with the little AdSense money that I get, I do this for fun. This is not my full-time job. This is just something that I do as a hobby. So I'm not sure if she's talking about that or if she's talking about the actual business that my family has, because I really only bring up that business when I'm trying to, I guess you can kind of say, argue and say that, yes, I do know about being a small business owner, and MLM reps are not small business owners, because there is a huge difference between the two. MLM reps always think that we are spreading hate, but that's really not it. There is a difference between actual hatred and constructive criticism. I don't hate anyone that is in any of these MLMs or whatever you want to call it, network marketing, social selling, whatever you want to call it. At the end of the day, I don't hate these people that are part of these companies. I really, truly, genuinely feel bad for them. As for calling network marketing a community, that is laughable. More times than not, that community completely disappears as soon as you leave the MLM. Moving along. Sometimes silence speaks volumes, but on this occasion, I may just respond. I don't usually have time for unintelligent attacks because haters gonna hate 100%. It says more about them than anyone else. If silence speaks volumes, then why are you even upset about this or thinking of responding? I will applaud her for standing up for something that she believes in, if she usually stays silent, although she better have watched and listened to the entire video and actually listened. Otherwise, she really has no room to respond. As for the unintelligent attacks portion, I leave all of my sources in the description box. Make sure that when you possibly do your response video that you have sources to back up what you are saying. I'm all for a discussion. I actually enjoy it. I think it's a challenge when you have someone from the opposing side who is willing to kind of counter your argument or debunk your argument, but from what I have seen with a lot of these MLM reps, they think that opinions are facts. In addition, there's that jargon about haters gonna hate. Again, as I've already said, constructive criticism is not hate. If you're going to call someone a hater for disagreeing with you, you probably shouldn't be on the internet. Welcome to the internet. Do you think that my comment section is always sunshines and rainbows with no opposing opinions or constructive criticism? Absolutely not. I do get a lot of opposing opinions along with constructive criticism, and I welcome that because I love to hear what others have to say, and especially if people are pro-MLM, if they have some kind of sources that they're citing to back up what they're saying, or if they are trying to counter my argument. I love that. I welcome that. I may still not agree at the end of the day, but it's healthy to disagree and debate. And I've had some very respectful pro-MLM people comment on my videos. I don't want people agreeing with me all the time because that's just boring. Let's be honest here, that's a little boring. But manipulation, taking things out of context, and literally building a business based on hate is next level ridiculous. Who wants me to do a fax video response? Oh, and network marketers, let's stand together. I'm thinking of doing a hashtag fax industry, not company, campaign featuring reps from loads of different companies so that we can stand up to these bullies. I don't think I took anything in this rep's previous post out of context, but if I did, I do apologize for that. I was only going off of the words that she typed out in her Facebook post and analyzing it. That's just what I do. I'm not gonna lie, I would love to see pro-MLM people unite and come together and try to debunk what the anti-MLM movement says, because I think that would be a really great discussion. I would love to be part of that discussion, as long as it's healthy and civil. But I don't see it being healthy and civil since they already think that we're haters and think we're bullies. This woman has clearly never been bullied in her life. I don't even consider what I went through full-blown bullying because I have seen much worse. I don't think that being ridiculed for what I look like, being Polish, and then having a bully tell you that they hoped your family died at the gas chambers at Auschwitz is the same level as me critiquing the company that you work for. But to each their own, I guess. There was a response on this very same post that I'm going to read. I'm not sure who this person is talking about, but maybe some of you do. Maybe you saw this video or this live stream or whatever it was. But this person said, someone did a video a few months back publicly slandering me based on one lying side of a story, calling our industry a cult, whilst asking her network of haters to share her hating live for a chance to win an eyeshadow palette. She really went to town for an hour and a half about the industry. In my opinion, slander is a serious accusation. So if this was really truly happening to this rep, I feel very sorry for her. This is the behavior that I don't stand by, especially if it was a lie. I do think that the other side of the story should be heard. I know I bring this example up a lot, but did we not learn anything from the Pie Sister drama? Calling the MLM industry a cult does have merit, which we will get into in a little bit. So if you're interested in that portion of this video, just keep watching. I don't know which live this rep is talking about, so I don't know if it truly was hateful or if it was just a critique and someone just providing constructive criticism, because these reps like to over dramatize and call us haters when that is in fact not what we are doing. So I can't really have an opinion on that. But anyway, let's get back into it. Uneducated and ill-informed information whilst baking her cakes, advising people to follow me and hate me. How are people even this angry? She's now started an actual YouTube channel dedicated to hating on our industry. How inspiring, A. If the information that we have is uneducated and ill-informed, please correct us with the proper sources, and I will be happy to retract anything that I said in any of my videos that is misinformation. I can't speak on behalf of the person who made this live, but as far as I go, I'm not angry. I'm actually a really happy person and I'm incredibly grateful for everything that I have in my life. If someone in the anti-MLM movement really truly lied about someone publicly and told their followers to go harass this rep, then I do think that that's really, really messed up. I would be lying if I said that I agreed with every single anti-MLMer out there, because there are some people that do take it to an extreme, but that really happens with everything out there. As for the sarcastic, how inspiring comment, I don't think of myself as inspiring because, to be honest, I'm no different than any other person watching this. What I will say is every time that I get a DM or a comment that says, I left my MLM because of your videos, that's what inspires me to keep going. So I did just want to say that I know that they always consider themselves inspiring, but I don't consider myself inspiring. If someone thinks that, thank you, but I'm just a regular, everyday person who just talks on the internet. That's really the only thing that makes me different from anyone who is watching this that doesn't speak about this topic on the internet. And this is just my opinion. This is just, I don't find myself inspiring. That's just the point that I'm trying to get across. But anyway, let's keep going. Meanwhile, I'm over here working hard, inspiring others. I know which kind of girl I'd like to be. Haters gonna hate, babes. If you ain't got haters, you're doing it wrong, I say. Ha, ha. I love that this rep is working hard and in her mind is inspiring others in the process, but what I don't love is that she's in a multi-level marketing company. If she had her own real business, I'd be all for it and I'd be rooting her on. And she is right about knowing which kind of girl to be. I would much rather be labeled as a hater and wear that like a badge of honor rather than exploiting my friends and family. But hey, that's just me. Notice how there is this very us versus them type of thinking along with rejection of constructive criticism. What about the financial exploitation and manipulation that goes on behind the scenes of these MLM companies? Doesn't that kind of sound like something off of Stephen Hassan's Bite model? I'd like to go over something that Stephen Hassan wrote a little over a year ago on his website because he is very well respected, and if you're an MLM rep who doesn't know who he is, nor will do a quick Google search on him because that seems to be a common thing with these MLM reps. He is a mental health counselor and has written about mind control along with help people leave cults since 1976. He was part of a cult at one point in his life, and because of that, he's been helping people get out of them ever since. He also created the Bite model. That's just a simplified version of him, but in other words, I think he's a great person to be able to speak on the matter of cults. But let's get into what Stephen has written on his website. I recently wrote about religious and political cult groups that manipulate and control members and how it is important to evaluate the major behaviors and characteristics of a group to see if it meets the criteria of a cult. In addition to religious and political groups, there are other types that recruit millions of people all over the world, but in reality use deception and coercive influence with cult-like features. These are multi-level marketing and self-help groups and large group awareness training groups. It is important to recognize the warning signs so as to avoid being caught up in their trap. MLMs are pyramid schemes that focus on recruiting people to recruit others, presumably giving a cut of the income up the chain. Statistics show that over 99% of people involved lose money. An article on magnifymoney.com about a survey involving 1,049 MLM scheme participants from a variety of MLMs and found that most people were making less than 70 cents an hour before deducting business costs, and 60% of participants said they had made less than $500 in the past 5 years. For about $100 of annual profit, the fact that anybody would stay in an MLM for 5 minutes, let alone 5 years, seems ridiculous. Before I keep going with this, I wanted to say a few things. Stephen mentioned the LGBT groups, which I just recently made a video about one called Choice Center that I highly recommend you watch. As for the article that was mentioned about the survey, I challenged my ex-reps who are watching this, or even current reps, to do the math. Pause this video if you have time to do so, and take how much income you made and subtract all of your expenses, along with fees, taxes, and any products that you bought for yourself from your business that keeps you active within the company. Now divide that by the amount of hours that you worked or currently work on your MLM in a day. If you're making over federal minimum wage, which at the time of filming this is at, here in the US, is at $7.25 per hour, let us know in the comment section below. I'd be very curious to know if anyone watching this is making at least minimum wage within their MLM company. To better understand how MLMs recruit and maintain participants requires we examine them as cults. Destructive mind control can be determined when the overall effect of the 4 components of the BITE model, behavior, information, thought, and emotion control, promotes dependency and obedience to some leader or cause. Most MLMs use tactics of recruitment, financial manipulation, and the promise of large profits, but they also work the same as other cults, with thought control, magical thinking, thought stopping, and self-blame. Failures are blamed directly on the consultants for lack of hard work or competence. The authority of the group has no accountability, and the leaders do not allow for questions or criticism. Douglas Brooks has said of MLMs, quote, "You're trained to avoid people who question whether this is a viable business or not, which is exactly the same technique that cults use. They try to isolate you from people who question your belief system," end quote. If you're an MLM rep watching this, or even an anti-MLMer who doesn't know about the BITE model or anything like that, I highly recommend that you take a look at it. I think it's very valuable information to know, and I'm not going to go over that in this video because I have made an entire video dedicated to that. But after listening, you as the viewer, listening to this portion of the article, does this not sound like a majority of MLM reps and companies that we've looked at? The reason why I even brought up those screenshots at the beginning of this video that were sent to me is because they are the very example of what Stephen Hassan is talking about in this post, especially the part about the authority of the group has no accountability and the leaders do not allow for criticism or questions. The reps I spoke about earlier immediately took me critiquing, or any anti-MLM person, as an attack. I think that if someone brings something to your attention, you should take a look at why they would even say this to begin with. Why are people calling MLMs cults? Instead of immediately hopping on the bandwagon of haters gonna hate, and if you don't have haters, you're not doing it right, you should seriously look into why this is something that is being said, especially if it's being said by more than one person. Go into things with an open mind, and if you still don't agree at the end of the day with what the person is saying, that's totally fine. You're entitled to your own opinion. But at the same time, as I've already said, opinions are not facts. Anyway, recruiters are very convincing. They use deception in all its forms, withholding vital information, distorting information, and outright lying. There is none of this cultish recruiting in a regular sales job. Here is where I'm going to remind everyone of the one screenshot I talked about and how the rep was going to respond to the video presenting facts. Are those facts going to be legitimate and found from proper sources? Or is it going to be, allegedly, distorted to fit her narrative? Is she going to go over the income disclosure statement and debunk what I said about it? Will this rep show us her tax returns so that we can see just how much this person makes at the end of the year? Just because you got that fancy ring as an award doesn't really tell me much. How did you get there? How many reps have come and gone on her team? Basically, what is the turnover rate with her team? When I worked in my corporate 9-to-5 job, this is something that I did pay attention to when looking at Glassdoor reviews, for example, because if there's a high turnover rate, that is a bit of a red flag in my opinion. Does this rep know how many people on her team are making a livable wage or even minimum wage? Since MLM reps like to compare their MLMs to 9-to-5s and like to talk about how terrible 9-to-5s are, the higher ups at a 9-to-5, for example, know how much, or at least can find out the information by going to HR. They know how much their employees are making, whether that be salary, hourly, or commission based. I mean, some of these higher ups are the ones that are giving out raises to their employees or to their team, if you even want to call it, if that's what you want to call it. I mean, I guess we can't call it that. They know what their turnover rate is with their employees, or as I've already said, they can easily go to HR and grab that data from HR. With that said, I truly hope that these facts that this rep is going to be presenting are going to answer some of the questions that us here in the anti-MLM sphere have, along with, I really hope that it's not just opinion based, because if you're going to say that you're going to back up what you're saying with facts, but you don't have the facts to back it up, have an opinion all you want, but make sure to call it an opinion and not a fact. But anyway, that's going to be it for me today. You guys let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let me know what you think of the screenshots of what these MLM reps were saying. What do you think of what I presented with what Stephen Hassan wrote? I will leave a link to that article in the description box because it's much longer. I didn't go over the whole entire thing, but it is definitely, I highly recommend reading it. And I, of course, highly recommend taking a look at who Stephen Hassan is and just looking at everything that is on his website, looking into the bite model. I think it is very valuable information to have, not just for anti-MLM people or for MLM reps to see. I think it's valuable information to just know for yourself, because you never know. You might be part of something that is a cult or similar to a cult, and you might not even know it. You might not, because if you're not thinking critically, you never know. So that's just something that I wanted to mention. And if you have any questions for me, if you have any comments, please leave them in the comment section below. And I will see you guys next time. This is Monica reporting to you live from a highway. Bye.